the whole thing with when Michael J. Fox has his eyes glowing and made shot
Yeah.
All right. As I was saying, we have Killed by Florida. Audio problems. Audio
Oh no,
problems.
here we go.
Technical difficulty.
You got it
Do,
yet?
do, do, do.
There we go.
All right, here we
Welcome,
go.
ladies and gentlemen, and all you fuckers and fuckettes. We have Killed by Florida doing this shit again due to technical difficulties. So, as you missed it, they introduced themselves. We have Jammer.
Jammer, yep, singer killed by Florida.
Christian, bass.
Brian, the drums.
The drums. So you guys were saying, sorry, we got to recap this for them again. You guys are playing somewhere tonight?
Yeah, we're playing Propaganda Lake Worth with the Wolf Face out of St. Pete, Shakers out of Margate, Florida, and we got the FA out of Vero, and we're gonna have a fucking good time tonight
Ew. So,
at Propaganda Lake Worth.
Prop J Street.
Yep.
So, where are you guys all from? You guys born, raised here in Florida, or?
I am personally, born here. Actually, me and Christian, we went to high school together.
What
Yeah.
high school did you go to?
Forest Hill.
High school.
Oh, Jesus
Falcons.
Christ.
Yeah.
Santa Lucia's.
Oh, jeez. All you matter to me, I went there for like 1 year.
Yeah, I remember back in the days, when I met him, right? He had long ass dreads. Right now his dreads are long, but it used to be much longer. And of course, I bought for him hemp, jewelry. He made some awesome.
I used to sell hemp jewelry and
Really?
bracelets and necklaces in high school. That's how I made a living. I was living on my own basically in ninth grade, selling jewelry in school to survive. You remember when hemp was like,
Yeah, the big thing.
that was
Surfers
it.
had it. The
Oh,
stoners had
fuck,
it.
man. Everybody at Forest Hill had one. Everybody. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not even joking. Everybody had one.
Oh, I remember. The surfers usually had the little friggin' shell in the center. It's their favorite thing. They look. Yeah, the puka shell.
Oh yeah, I've sold 1,000 of those. I'd make them. I'd ask people what they want. They would tell me. I go home. I make it. Come back and sell it to them. Fuck, ninth grade, making $50, $100 a day in high school.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked out for me.
What about you, Brian? Where'd you grow up?
I'm originally from Ohio. I moved here, I think 15 years ago. And I probably met these fuckers. I mean, I met Jammer probably within the first couple years. But yeah, dude, fucking moved here pretty much with a duffel bag and my skateboard and fucking just stayed. I had family here, so I got shit going, living with them. And then fuck Ohio and stayed in Florida, So
Right on.
been fucking doing it up since.
Christian, you're originally from New Jersey, right?
Yep. Yes, I am from Hoboken, and but I've been living here since I was 7 years old. So I've been now 32 years, and but mostly you can take the person out of Jersey, right? But you leave Jersey, but you can't take the person out of Jersey. But,
You can take the person out of Jersey, but you can't take the jersey out of the person.
yeah.
I got you.
But still, my heart and soul is all Florida. I love it here. The weather's awesome. And so I grew up. Made lifelong friends here, and it's awesome. I love it here.
So, how long have you guys been killed by Florida? Has it been 5 years, 10 years?
A little over 3 years. We've technically been killed by Florida.
So, you guys were collectively a band together before that, or?
The whole project started, what, 9, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
When did we start this?
Well,
Original, the get-go was probably 9, what?
Yeah. In 2010 or 2011.
Yeah, like 9 years ago. Yeah, me and Christian wanted to start a band. I was playing drums at the time, and we started playing with our original guitarist, Dave. That was the guitarist on the first album, the lead guitarist. And basically, we couldn't freaking go nowhere. We played together, never could find a lead singer. And it just fizzled out after a couple of years. But we had formatted some good music, and
And what kind of music were you guys playing back then?
same thing that we're playing now. Some of these same songs were written back then close to what they are. They've progressed over the years, but yeah, then I left the band. They kept going, and Brian jumped on drums, And I think once again, I mean, I was out of the band, but you guys just couldn't find a singer.
No, and also his brother Worm was in the band, right? And like I love him, Duff, cool guy. But every show when we played, it was like okay, is the same, is just singing the same lyrics or something different, right? But then of course he left, right? And so we called Jammer. You want to come back? You want to sing? Because you have awesome lyrics. He has a whole book. I mean, like trove of lyrics. I mean, awesome as shit. It was like like this is what we needed. So so he's like, yeah, I can do it. And from there, bam.
Yeah, first band I've ever sang for, and they asked me to come sing for them, and because I did help format a lot of the music that was already there, I knew all the structures, I knew how the songs were. I had lyrics, practiced with them one night. The next night we went and played a show, and it's been nonstop since then.
What venue was that, if I can ask?
It's Creepy Tiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling ourselves fucktard.
Yeah.
No, that first show was actually Charles Whitman and the Lake Worth Detox.
Yeah.
I'm fucking about to remember that shit.
It's actually on YouTube. That first show is on YouTube.
Also, we were also called Cosmic Campbell.
Causeway Cannibal. Yep. That was one of our first names. And yeah, we were Fucktards. Then we changed the name into Tard. And then we went to Kill by Florida probably about 3 years ago now. And that's where we've been.
Now, where'd the name Killed by Florida come from, though? Like, is there meaning behind it? Is it from all the
Multiple
Florida Man
meanings.
shit?
Well, there was an album made, compilation album made in, I believe, 94 of all the early 1980s punk rock bands. So they put together this compilation album called Killed by Florida. And the singer of the band F at the time, Phil, he was part of that, making that process. We've met a lot of the guys that helped make that record and basically got permission to use the name as our own and run with it. And so we did. And it's, a lot of meaning with, being literally killed by Florida, because this place will fucking turn you out, Fucking people come on vacation, and next thing you know, they're fucking sucking dick for coke in the alleyways. It's like, holy shit, you've been here for fucking 3 weeks. And then next thing you know, they're in rehab and Delray and getting more drugs for free.
Or having someone eat your face on the highway?
Yeah, something. That's usually how it works down here. But
Like for us was Florida has weird stories.
No. Who would imagine that Florida has weird stories? Lady carries alligator in purse. Man throws alligator in convenience store.
No, but
Man arrested for having sex with alligator.
no, but we love it. All the weird shit about Florida. So
embrace it.
Embrace it. So like we're like, okay, awesome name, let's do this.
Yep, absolutely. And something I've been doing is trying to post more of that stupid stuff on the Facebook page. When I see really crazy Killed by Florida news, I sort of put it on the page too and keep it more.
Make sure it's
active.
on the book.
Yeah, make it relevant and active, and more people see it. Helps our page, It's Facebook or whatever. It's weird like that. You got to keep it relevant.
You gotta keep posting stupid shit to keep people interested.
Yeah.
I do that every day. You ever want fucked up memes, weird memes, or very rarely, but occasionally motivational memes? Blue Collar Genius on the book. But okay, that's an interesting take on where the name came from. I figured it was gonna be something like this happened or that happened, but a fucking compilation album is.
Yeah, well, it's that old school punk rock style that we still try to play today. It's still, what I think we are doing what they did back then, in a sense, We try to keep it raw and uncut and just balls to the wall.
That's pretty. What's the term? Oh yeah, that's pretty punk.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but also the cool thing is like we also play with different types of bands. Whereas metal, punk or whatever.
We played with hip hop groups. We played with anything, metal, to punk. We could play with anything because we don't really define ourselves as straight up punk. But then when there's like this punk festival going on with all these spiky mohawk punks and these fashion punks, we don't get invited to none of that shit though.
Really?
Yeah, no, we're not punk.
Yeah.
you know.
But the whole part of, I mean, being someone, I'm 40 years old. I grew up, through the punk era of the 80s. Like, as a kid, that was like, you were either punk, and it was the different outfits, like, despite it was about standing out and being an individual in a way that you were comfortable with, regardless of what society said.
Yeah.
And I mean, looking at how you guys are dressed, you're obviously standing out as a group of individuals, regardless of what society said. That's the heart of punk.
I wear this every Saturday.
I know this is honestly nothing special, but no, for me it is. As you can tell by my lovely sock tan, like it's the first time I've had flops on in a while. But no, it is quite strange. There's a 3-day festival going on in Miami that has like 50 bands, and I've known about it since damn near the get-go, and they won't put us on it. Oh, we got no room. We got no room. 200 new bands announced. We got no room. We got no room. It's just like frustrating.
Play for free. Fuck.
So you guys are essentially too punk for the punk festival.
Yeah.
I guess so. I honestly don't know what to make of it. They don't think of us as punk rock, I guess, in their sense. I don't honestly know. And we've never wronged any of them, I believe. We were pretty
Never.
we're pretty peaceful with most of the bands. We play with a lot of bands. My goal in the band is not to play to the same group of people over and over again. That's never the goal. I want to play to as many people as I possibly can. So if I can get different crowds and different genres of music and different bands in there, invite the little no-name bands to come play with you. Give these people a chance. You get more people in the door. People come for, if it's just a couple of their friends and family, you make one new fan, 2 new fans every show you play. You're winning. If you play the same group of people over and over again, you got your fucking 10 fanboys in the crowd, cheering you on and dancing around. I mean, yeah, it's fun, I guess, but is it really got a good end result?
Not if your plan is to get your message and your music out. It's definitely not, because it stagnates at that point.
Yeah, you got to just let it out to as many people as possible and make it natural, where it's not some, like, I don't know, it's not just because your friend liked the band that you decide to like the band, or it was recommended to you from some Facebook app, or you seen somebody like their page, that you actually randomly seen them in a show and wanted to buy their merchandise and you never heard them before. That's the true fan. It's tough. You look at your Facebook page, you look at your social media, and there's fans, but how many are true fans?
Yep.
Not me yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, come out to the fucking show tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, where's it at again?
Propaganda.
Never heard of the place. Oh, yeah.
Propaganda
Love you,
Lakewood.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Groot.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna be fun though. We got coming up. Yeah, it's gonna be Wolfface, the Shakers. I don't know if you ever heard the Shakers out of Margate. They are
Awesome.
fucking amazing. They should have
Awesome.
been big. They should have been right there with playing with Offspring and Bad Religion, and they've been doing this for 20 years and as talented as any one of those fucking bands. But they're amazing. Love them. Can't wait to play with them again.
Fan of Bad Religion myself. Offspring has got some good tunes, but
They're awesome. The FA, they're up and coming strong right now. They're hitting it hard up in Vero, and trying to get them down here, split the shows. They try to get us up there, and try to make fans out of everybody.
right on. That's fucking pretty cool.
What we got, June 22nd. That's with the Abortion Twins, Butch Queen and the Bad Habits.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fucking rocking show. Also at Propaganda. And I believe Modern Natives and No Traffic.
That's definitely not a band out of Florida, because we always have traffic.
Yeah.
95.
Yeah, 95 or Miami at the Palmetto.
Oh God, I hate
No,
Miami.
me too.
I hate Miami with a fucking passion.
Me too. I'm Cuban. Cuz I love Miami, but fucking it's too much fucking traffic, bro. Come on, bro.
So is Propaganda kind of like your home venue?
Yeah, Propaganda, Respectables. I mean, we fucking love the Poorhouse. The Beer Punks that was down there that just shut down was amazing. Now
Now I've heard the Poorhouse, but I've never been there. Where's that at?
I never drive. Ask them.
It's next to Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution.
Directly,
Down in Fort Lauderdale.
directly next door to Revolution.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes it nice. You can play there when there's decent punk bands going on at Revolution. If you're playing your night right and you're the first band actually shows up on time, you know who you are. I'm looking at you. They show up on time. You get the music going when the venue gets over, because the Poorhouse opens like 4 in the morning, and then the venue dumps out. And if you got music playing at the venue next door,
Everyone's gonna go from there.
and it's a free show, they always leave the doors fucking open. Just people come flooding in. But if the first band is late and they don't show up,
Yeah.
No call, no show, bad for business.
you know who you are.
So you'd say Poorhouse is one of your favorite venues outside of the home venue of
Yeah.
Respectables and Prop?
Respectables, Prop, Poorhouse. The Beer Punks was amazing. We love Beer Punks,
I
but
love it. That place is awesome.
there's a new place, I guess, called Loser Lounge, and that's somewhere we got to get into. We will be there shortly.
Wyatt, love you, love you, man. Dude, he's a cool ass guy, man. He's awesome. So, like, every time when we play a show there, he's like, hey, I got some
Need another beer?
Bush beers, right? Yeah,
Busch.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Every time, like, when we do a show there, right? Wyatt has our beers ready to go, and
Because we drink Bush beer, and so we go to play at Beer Punks, and they actually bring Bush beer just for us. They'll buy 18 packs of Bush beer just for us while we're there.
You would,
You gotta
brother.
fucking love that. That's when you've made it. When the venue actually stocks your beer for you.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. They stock your beer
Just for you.
you.
Just for you. We bought you a couple 18 packs of Bush beer for the band. Here you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a So, Christian, you grew up
winning.
winning. You grew up here in Florida mostly. What part of Florida? Obviously,
In,
in Lake Worth area.
in West Palm Beach.
And what was it like growing up for you? Mom, dad, single parent?
No, both parents. Howard's nails. Of course, you have to rebel, a little bit. But of course, you appreciate your parents. I'm Cuban, so us Cubans, family is number one, right? And of course, Tuesday, every Friday, me and my dad, we have happy hour.
And fear the chocolate.
Yep.
Little Latino humor.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Brian? What was it like growing up for you in Ohio?
Grew up in Ohio, just
Like on a farm in one of the cities?
It was in a city, but small town kind of deal. Nothing too crazy.
Race down the strip is most exciting as it gets.
Fucking McDonald's, and there's a fucking Taco Bell if you're lucky in town, and just
Have you
grew
ever seen the movie Gummo?
Yeah,
No,
Gummo.
can't say I
Gummo's
have.
out of what? Is it Xenia?
Xenia.
Yeah, that's like an hour from where I grew up.
The cats.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just grew up there, freaking skateboarding, and I played in bands up there too. And then I moved down here when I was 20 and
Just
34, 30, going on 35, and kept it going and skateboarding down here. And
any special hurdles or hardships with that move coming down here and trying to make a life?
it's a totally different world moving down here from, Ohio. It's kind of a small town. It's get down here, it's fucking buck wild. You can get in some trouble. Luckily, I didn't get in too much so far.
No,
all right.
getting in trouble here in South Florida? Who could imagine?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking gnarly. I've seen some crazy shit, but
What's the craziest thing you've seen that if you'll talk
well,
about it?
down here, what happened to me, I got actually robbed and kidnapped at gunpoint. Fucking got taken to an ATM machine. We went to fucking Renegades one night. So here, we'll get this out.
Now,
there.
is this
Like,
Renegades on Okeechobee or Renegades off of Palm Beach Lakes?
It was the one on Okeechobee.
Okay.
And I used to live back in the village, and we were out drinking, chasing tail, I guess you'd say. I'm married now, so you know, my wife might be listening. But no. But yeah, so we're out drinking there, and then fucking we go back to my buddy's apartment, and like I was hammered. I didn't even think about it. I just went to go grab the door, and the door was cracked. The next thing you know, I'm going in. These dudes are in there going through his apartment, and all of a sudden we start fighting with them.
Yeah.
Fucking get the scrap, and one dude ends up pulling out a knife, and one dude pulls out a gun, has it to my head, takes us back into the apartment, puts us down on the ground, and like asking where our safe is and shit. But we're a bunch of broke ass motherfuckers. We're barely paying rent, dude. We don't have shit. Asking like about a safe and this and that, and then put
What?
shirts over our head, and then ended up like dragging us out to my car, and like put us in the back seat, still shirts over our head. Drives the ATM. My one buddy actually gets out and gives them money, and I was kind of like, I don't have any money.
I don't have any money to give you if I
Yeah.
wanted to.
So like, they're like saying they're gonna actually kill me. Like, dude's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Your buddy gave us money. I know you're lying. I know you got money in your bank. And I was like, dude, I don't have shit, dude. So they're driving around. I still have the shirt over my head. I can't see shit. I'm kind of like peeking out. But like, what do you do when you're in the back seat when you just got robbed at gunpoint, kidnapped, taken to a fucking ATM machine?
Damn, that is wild.
Yeah. So
Sorry about that, bro.
Yeah. So let me end this real quick. So we'd end up driving around for a bit, take us back to the apartment complex, put us down behind the place where there's like a little lake pond deal, lay us down, and like this pretty much like I thought the fuck I was about to get blasted in the back of the head or something. And they say count to fucking 100 and don't fucking move or I'll fucking shoot you. Get up, run, took off. Get up, they're gone. That was it. Left the car, everything was still there when we got back. Called the cops and all that, you know, like.
You know what the
they
cops
do-
said?
They didn't. Oh, sorry, you're lucky you didn't fucking.
They
get
said,
died?
"Don't bring a pillow to a knife fight."
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Pretty much. That ended up being a song in an old band, but yeah, that's so far the craziest shit that's happened to me down here.
Sorry about that, Wild Night. Wrong house. My bad.
But yeah, fucking
No shit.
renegades.
Yeah.
Last time I've been there actually too.
What about you, Jammer? You have a good life down here in Florida?
Fucking wonderful.
If you don't mind, I mean, we discussed a little bit of this in the pre-interview, but
Yeah, you know.
you've kind of overcome some real fucking shit, and
Absolutely.
I think there's a couple of people out there who may have gone through or going through something similar that really should hear your story to see
Okay,
how
so
far you
we're-
can come.
So we're going full on Joe Dirt.
Full on Joe Dirt.
Is that where we're going here? I was born to a lesbian midwife that used to beat me. No, that's not true. No, but yeah, no, I grew up pretty rough. Throughout many Section 8 houses and just lived in one-bedroom apartments with me and my 5 brothers and my parents, 7 of us, and little efficiency apartments. Parents were heroin addicts, drug addicts, and they, they did the best they could, overcoming what they, put on themselves, I guess. But, they always had food. They always had clean clothes, always had a roof over my head. And, no matter how bad it was for us, we always seemed to have people staying at our house with us. Even though there was nothing, no room for anybody, we still made room for one more regardless. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a tough life. Seen my mother go to rehab many, many times, watched her overdose, seen my father overdose, and he just passed away a couple months ago, liver cancer, drinking with hepatitis.
Oh,
Harley.
Yep. So yeah, he just passed away, and it's definitely been a tough life growing up, and either you can let it define you, or you can let it make you stronger.
now you were telling me that you kind of had an addiction at one point. correct?
Absolutely, yeah. When I was 16, I got addicted to painkillers. Yeah, opiates. Well, back then it was before the epidemic, and God, you can get Oxy 80 for $20. I mean, that's what we were selling them for. I was getting them for $8. It was ridiculous, and we used to do way too much. I don't know how any of us are still alive. Tell you the truth, fuck, between the oxys, the methadone, the Xanax, the fucking you name it, the rolls, the
I remember in high school, yeah, you want some like I'm good. No, for I guess for sale. No, bro, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
So, what was that moment that turned your life around that made you get clean and stay clean?
You know, it was honestly coming to the realization I couldn't understand why the fuck I liked what I was doing. You know, it was like sitting there just wondering, why am I enjoying being high, doing nothing, sitting on my couch, fucking in a stupor, being fucking just out of my mind while all my friends are out going to punk rock shows. They're out fucking meeting women, getting girlfriends. They're doing things. They're living life. And I was somehow content with sitting there, fucking being high by myself. And it just got to a point of just fuck. I'm a piece of shit. I need to go fucking live. I need to do something. You know, how long can you sit there in a little shithole and, you know,
I wouldn't know. Some people apparently do it the whole lives.
absolutely. Some people do. And why? Why? I get it. It's tough. It's hard. You're scared. I don't want to, withdraw, but fucking, hey, dude, it ain't that bad. Like, fuck, people have the flu that's worse than withdrawing, you know? Fuck, fuckers got cancer and get over that shit. And you're bitching about withdrawing? Fuck.
Well, they're dope sick.
Yeah, you'd be all right. It happens. You'd be all right. You know?
So you get you get clean, you get through your dope sickness, you get through the puking phase, the shakes, the sweats, all that wonderful disgustingness.
Yeah. And meet somebody and decide to, move on with life and go travel and save money. I put all my money that I used to spend on drugs into food. Now I'm fat.
So, but the first week you're clean, like you're actually clean.
Oh,
What do
fuck.
you do?
This is 20 years ago.
So what do you do? You get clean. What do you go do?
I honestly couldn't even tell you. I never thought about that, to tell you the truth.
Hit
You
a
know,
show maybe? You just don't
yeah,
even remember.
No, it's been so long. I couldn't honestly tell you. I mean, clean from one drug, but there was always other drugs. You know, yeah, great. I kicked my fucking opium addiction, but then, you know, I used to live on Southern Boulevard before they widened it and made it wider. On September 11th, when the fucking World Trade Centers went down, I got a check in the mail for $8,000 because they told me I had to leave the apartment I was renting on Southern Boulevard. And that day, I got the check in the mail because they paid me $8,000 to move out of this little fucking efficiency when I was 18 years old. And that was right after I got done kicking dope, and then I got all this fucking money in my hand, and I ate a lot of rolls. I ate a lot of Xanax. I fucking did a lot of whippets and blunts and fucking we partied. We partied goddamn hard.
Explains a lot now.
Man, I wish I was there.
So when did you decide to get into music with all this? Like, you obviously couldn't be concentrating on music when you're fucking high all the time.
That was the big part of it, but I got my first drum set when I was 15, and I used to live with the Rainbow House, the hippie community, and we would just sit there and fucking eat mushrooms and do a lot of acid and play music all night long. And we would play all night long. It didn't matter. You can have a punk rock band going fucking all night. So I played music before I even got addicted to drugs, and then I definitely took a hiatus throughout a long time of just not caring about music at all and not getting off my ass and doing it. And then after that, what was the first? Fuck, I don't even know. I mean, really played music for a long time, but the first band that ever meant meant anything to me is probably Officer Down. Played drums with Officer Down, and
With Ryan.
yeah, 2009, I believe, something like that. You had a couple bands earlier, right?
One band called Centrifuge. It was like a hard rock band, and playing Seven Dust covers and stuff. Also we have our own originals. Right, I had a 5-string bass and my old guitarist Dan, he has a 7-string, and so actually it was a good band, right? And our lead singer Tommy, awesome singer, he sounded like a reincarnation of Kurt Cobain, right? And like it was awesome. But we haven't recorded an album. We played from 2000 to 0506, right? So I decided to leave. I'm fucking not starting my myself. I decided to leave the band, right?
Now, sorry to interrupt. Were they more of? You said they were more of like a cover band though,
No,
with some of their own songs,
no,
or you just sounded similar to Seven Dust?
no, we had a
Chris, just pull the mic.
it was like a whole new new metal.
Okay.
You remember the whole shit with Limp Bizkit, all that shit came out, that era.
No, I do not remember Limp Bizkit. They did not exist. I do not remember what they did for the Nookie.
I know, right? But that band sucks. But at the time, we played like at Spanky's, Kelsey Club, and it was an awesome time. I love those guys, and but of course my heart is more like punk and thrash.
So you like that faster tempo
Yeah.
in your music?
Mm. And of course, like we had no album, so I left the band because it was like okay, if we are doing the same old, right, and nothing is going nowhere, I gotta go. Mm.
So even though they were talented, they didn't have any direction or drive, is what it sounds like.
There was drive, but it just
No direction.
no direction was there. It took so long.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So you've never been in a cover band, then? You've always been in bands that have written their own songs, performed them.
Played in a cover band for a minute. Never got to play shows or anything, but old school 70s punk rock cover music, playing drums.
What about you,
That's fun.
Brian? You ever been in a cover band?
No, but one day I hope to start a Nickelback cover band. I'm serious.
Hey, do not rag on Canadians' Dream Boys. What'd they ever do to you?
I fucking love Nickelback.
Outside of sell millions of records and make hundreds of gay white guys happy.
As I say, give me a boner.
I love Nickelback on the record.
And of course, so after that band, I was playing a band called Cigarettes and Ball Caps with my homeboy Mike, for a while, and like it was my like I haven't played for a while, and I had the the itch, to play again. I want to play again. I'm like I gotta play bass. I gotta get back in music and shit. So like we had a couple shows, and the band is awesome, but I got fired, and of course that fire actually gave me a spark.
They wait. They fired you from the band?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I wasn't playing on time.
Okay.
You got to think about they're also musicians, and they want to make sure that everything is on time, right? And I don't
Believe in time.
no.
You're not as structured on playing music. You prefer it to be a little bit more organic instead of set structure.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I, God, fucking-
Damn!
Till this day, I nothing but love those guys. No hard feelings. Because without them firing me, we couldn't have this for now.
Right. So, Jammer, let me. So you were playing with Brian, with Christian for a while. You left. What were you doing when you left as the drummer? Were you playing with another band, or?
Yeah, I went and played drums in the 70s cover band for a minute. And then I started playing music with a metal band. I was playing drums with a metal band down in Broward. I did that for probably about a solid year. Then I played in a hip hop, hardcore punk rock band down in Broward also, but a lot of the projects just never could get off the ground. You know, we practiced, we had songs, we did everything, and just never really accomplished, you know, what we wanted to. Never played shows, never got out, never moved forward past the practice stage.
So let me ask you this: for people that have formed bands, or how do you get off the ground and get a live show? Is it just knowing the right people, or
You know, I wish we could say that. I mean, it is yes, it absolutely is.
Yep.
We didn't know the fucking right people, and it was goddamn hard for us. We struggled for a while getting decent shows. We played shows to fucking nobody many times, and that's what you got to do. You go out there and you give it your fucking all 100% to nobody.
Yep.
And then you do that again, then you do that again, and you just fucking, if you can make one fan every fucking show, you're doing it right. The next thing you know, you're getting more and more people to come to your shows, and you know, you're able to actually draw somewhat of a crowd. And you know, not always, you know, it still happens. I'm fucking try to play a Tuesday night in Miami. Yeah,
Yeah, good luck.
goddamn luck. You know, but you got to do it. You know, you got to get out there. You got to do the fucking legwork. You got to play as much as you could possibly play.
Yep.
You know, we were playing 2 shows a night sometimes, fucking 3 shows a week, and just, you know, got to do it. You just don't be scared. But then once you actually do get a decent following, you get a handful of people that are coming to your shows, you got to relax a little bit. You can't make people sick of seeing you. You know, you got to take a break, play a show fucking every month or so, you know, and make people want to come back and see you. Have new music, have merchandise, have things, tangible things they can hold on to.
so you think that's a key component, is having something that they can go, I like this band, I'm with them, I got this piece of merch to.
Yeah, a fucking CD, a sticker, or something to remember the night by. You wake up the next morning after your fucking hungover blackout phase, and you're like, what the fuck? Oh, Killed by Florida. Look at this sticker I got. Wonderful. Oh, yeah, I remember that. It was fun. You know, maybe I'll go do it again.
You know, one time we were doing
You download our album. You could just like, you just shout it off the stage. Download our album on iTunes. That sucks. You know, fucking. Here's a CD.
One time we were doing a show at the Kelsey Club. We were opening for
Kelsey Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, we opened for the Dead Kennedys and Reagan Youth at the
Wow,
Kelsey
the
Theater.
Dead Kennedys, damn. Talk about bringing up a big name band from my day.
it was a show, and we had this guy in the audience, Mike, you know, and he was our biggest fan. You
Yep.
know? Yeah, and came to all of our shows. You know, every show we played, he's always there, right? And he gives us a CD called Simon Called Peter. Awesome.
Yep,
Man.
Simon Called Peter. Yeah, it was his own personal CD that he made. Just him, you know, getting musicians to play the drums and everything, but just it was his brainchild. You know, everybody just basically had to do what he wanted. Album rocks.
And so you came on shows and it was like Dave and Ian, you know, when we played the show.
Yeah, because we started off the band with just one guitarist, Dave, and then we ended up getting a second guitarist. Who was our second? Was it Justin? Justin was actually our second guitarist, who unfortunately didn't last. He was a badass musician, but once again, fucking drugs, and he ended up falling asleep in some weird ass squatting position. Almost lost his legs.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, fucking ended up moving out of state and leaving.
It's Florida for you.
Yeah, and he wasn't from Florida. He just came down here, and
from New York.
Yep. And then what the hell? Then we got Ian to play with us, and then it was Dave and Ian, and that stuck around for a while until we made our first album. So on our first album, you'll hear Dave playing lead guitar and Ian playing rhythm guitar and some leads on it, and the album is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if you haven't heard our first album, if you like old fucking punk rock, you like just fun music with a lot of, you know, hate and anger, that's what we do.
Now, do we have a song, a particular favorite from that album?
I mean, one of the fan favorites, I guess, would be, you know, Kill Rick Scott.
Yeah.
And
Well, how about we play that song for everybody?
Hell yeah, let's listen to some Kill Rick Scott. By the way, we didn't write this song. I believe the fifth. Fifth. F-I-F. Fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're an asshole! Shame on you, Rick Scott! You're an embarrassment to our state!
Motherfucking Rick Scott!
Well, we can see who voted for Rick Scott now.
Yes, voted for him.
Twice!
But, you know, your vote doesn't count anyway, so.
Well, come on. Rick Scott is the epitome of Florida if you really think about it. I mean, who scammed, Medicaid out of more money than anybody
Dude,
else?
he's king of Florida.
He really is. Like, he is the epitome of Florida.
The
Like,
Florida man, the king of King Florida man, right?
yeah, he really fucking is.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck bringing alligators to your convenience store. No, that's like amateur Florida man shit. Oh, you had sex with an alligator? Wonderful. Fucking petty.
let me show you how to get a couple $100 million out of Medicaid.
Dude, that's Florida man.
That's definitely Miami, too.
Yeah, fucking A, man. That's fucking. Hello, Sarah.
Oh, that's definitely an interesting song title.
Yeah, I didn't write that one. No, but I don't know. I guess you're allowed to say that. I don't know the specifics.
I don't give
but,
a fuck.
But I didn't write it.
It's just an expression. It doesn't mean literally do it. No one's advocating for the murder of anybody. It's just, what's the term? A hypothetical.
No, it's really not. No, I guess yeah, it's hypothetical.
You know, I mean, I get it. I mean, but at the same time, he really is the embodiment of what the Florida being crooked really is.
It really is, and like some of the lyrics of the song is just about, the environment, just fucking up my beaches and destroying my land, ruining the oceans, and just, that's a lot of what the song is about. Is just big sugar, big money, and just being held accountable.
And also, green tide,
The blue-green algae.
Look all the we're part of out of the whole estuary from Okeechobee to Stewart and stuff. That the whole area, right? It's counted for tourism, right? Fishing, everything, right? And of course, yeah, that dude is very crooked. That actually he let it slide, and you know and, and one thing is right is like me you know this this new governor actually
DeSantis.
DeSantos?
No, he tries to say it like he's the whitest motherfucker possible. Like he's
DeSantos.
not even trying to be Spanish about it. He's not DeSantis. No, he's DeSantis. It's weird when I hear him say
No,
it.
it's DeSantos.
No, but that's not how he pronounces it.
I
at all.
don't give a fuck. I grew up in South Florida. I know a Cuban when I hear one.
And he
And there ain't nothing
tries-
wrong with having a Cuban politician. They're
But
the
he
best
tries so hard not to be. It's funny.
He looks so Cuban too.
I know, and he really tries.
Like he really is the American
I
dream.
don't think he's Cuban. He's more Italian. Italians.
Yeah, whatever.
Italian, Cuban, Puerto Rican.
Lines
Y'all look
drawn
the same
in the
to us
sand.
white crackers.
They're just lines drawn in the sand.
I'm Cuban.
Fuck
I
'em
think
all.
that is the funniest shit. Cubans are the most racist against other Latinos. They're like, whoa. He is not Mexican. He is not Cuban. He is from Dominican Republic. Do not call him Cuban or Mexican.
Get that shit straight. I mean, it's amazing how different these people are. It's varied.
It's true.
Well, here's what it really comes down to is like Latinos have their own individual cultures. The only cultures white people have are the Italians and
Dude,
the Irish.
I appropriate culture. That's
Oh.
all I do. I'm fucking a white American. What the hell do you think we do out here?
Well,
Oh, you're appropriating culture. Damn straight, that's what we do.
I laugh when people say that. Like, do you not understand that's what America's supposed to be is an appropriation? The whole purpose of the American experiment is we're going to take the best of every culture and make it collectively ours.
Yeah.
The best of the white bread, proper bred culture is the culture you're supposed to appropriate regardless of where you come from. The best of the African American culture is what you're supposed to appropriate and become. The best of Mexican, the best of Cuban, the best of Dominican, Haitian. The best of your culture is what you're supposed to put into this melting pot, and we're all supposed to collectively do it together because it's the best.
Yep, absolutely. Get everybody in here together, and we can all live happy. There's enough resources. There's enough jobs. There's enough of everything to go around. There's no reason why any child should be hungry on the streets. There's more foreclosed houses than there are homeless people. It just doesn't make sense.
I have a huge issue with that when it comes to homeless veterans, especially.
Yeah, and then I love it when I see on Facebook to raise some goddamn money for homeless people, and it's like, great, I'm gonna do the government's job for them. Like, wonderful, let's start a fundraiser and crowd fund the government.
Well, I think the government needs to be out of more shit, and we need to collectively, as communities, take care of that shit. That's that interesting segue of, like one of my biggest influences, when it comes to cultural and how societies and communities should take care of each other is actually, Huey from the Black Panthers. Like, he did it right. He's like, fuck the government, fuck the state, fuck the county or whatever it is. Our community, we're going to come together and we're going to take care of our own.
Yeah. And then you get legislation and bullshit in there that tries to make solar panels illegal. And they have to actually pass a law that says solar panels are legal. That's bullshit. Oh, you can't collect rainwater off your house. You can't. They want to make that as impossible as it can get, because that would be, I guess the true definition of anarchy would be, to be able to leave all that behind and self-sustain.
Well, that's the weird thing. Like, now solar panels, they're going, why are they going to solar energy? It's the reality is for FPNL's benefit. Like, if you go solar, like most people don't know, like if you run solar power, any excess power generation, you have to sell back to the grid.
Yeah.
You have to sell back to
Sure.
FPL. They pay pennies on the dollar for that energy. They give you a credit, but they pay you pennies on the dollar.
Windmills give you cancer.
No. Here's the only part. Here's my only issue with windmills.
Fuck's the matter with people?
Here's my only issue with windmills is the expense.
The bald eagle piles underneath them.
none of that. No,
No,
no.
you're okay with that.
They don't. That's not what happens. That's not what happens. First of all, now do occasionally birds run into? Yes, it happens on occasion, but it's not a massive issue. What
Bald
it-
eagles are attracted to them.
No, they're not.
It'd
No,
be
they're
cool
not.
if they were, though.
No, they are attracted to cell towers, but that's another story entirely.
Imagine if they did.
But here's what it is the cost of material put into a windmill. I haven't done all the math.
Sure. Same
So-
thing with Tesla's fucking batteries. These lithium-ion
Oh,
batteries.
those batteries are going to be
You-
expensive to get rid of when they go bad.
You think that's good for the environment to
No,
produce
it's-
those batteries and mine the fucking ground of lithium? No.
it's worse than fucking fossil fuel.
I don't know if it's worse. I could honestly tell you. I mean, I don't know what's worse or not. Fossil fuels are pretty goddamn bad.
Well, here
but
here's really
I'll
what,
let the smarter people decide
here
that.
I can fix. Here's the reality. You want to fix the fuel issue? It's two things. One, go full nuclear energy.
That works.
And-
it's dangerous. It's
It is a little bit dangerous, but here's the reality. If the biggest danger to nuclear energy
I don't
is,
think we know what the biggest danger
is the
to
waste
nuclear
product. No,
energy
we do.
is.
It's the waste product.
It is, but we don't
But-
know the full extent
And
of it. I don't believe.
here's your solution.
We're gonna figure that
Here's
out
your
later.
solution. SpaceX already has it. You fucking set up a SpaceX disposable shuttle that launches that waste right into the motherfucking sun. Boom.
Did you
Problem solved.
Did you see when Elon Musk trying to launch his car into the sun?
You mean into space?
No, he tried to shoot it towards the sun, I believe. That
No,
was
he just wanted to do a space, an orbit around the Earth, and,
I
and he was
believe-
successful.
No, he. I
It also has a
thought he wanted to send it actually towards the
driver.
sun.
driver. Yeah.
He wanted to
Yes,
burn up, and it
yes,
didn't happen. He
yeah.
fucked up, and it didn't happen.
No, he-
But it's,
Anyway,
I think, more difficult than you think.
It's difficult, but if you build whether it's a beanstalk or you just do a launch to the cargo into a satellite holding space station, you can then use electromagnets to shoot that shit right into
Now
the
you
sun.
say beanstalk. I've heard this theory before. I
A
believe
beanstalk-
where they actually build a bridge, an elevator
It's
from
an
Earth.
elevator from Earth that's attached to a station that's held in geosynchronous orbit in space.
It's not that
Theoretic-
far. It's only like a fucking couple miles. I mean,
Theoretically, if you build it,
Think about right. You know, if it's like right, it's got a curve. So all you flat earthers, kiss my ass. It curves. Curves round. Yeah. So
but theoretically, yes, if you built the beanstalk, your cost to send stuff up into the orbit, up just outside of into the stratosphere, the cost is minuscule. Whatever, however you. But think about it, the cost of getting rid of, half-life waste, launching it into the sun is far safer.
are you sure?
Yes, because they've already done an analysis of the core of the sun. All you'd be doing is adding mass, which means you'd be extending the life of our sun. Which
Possibly. I mean, once again, I'm no fucking astrophysicist and this and that, but
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not
I would
either,
assume
but I have
that it's a little
listened
bit
to 'em.
more stable than I would hope. But you start shooting nuclear waste into the middle of the sun. I mean, it could possibly be a bad end result. You're adding different neutrons and microns and protons
No,
and
you're
this
just
and that, and like
you're
fucking,
adding the same shit that the sun's molten core is made of.
Yeah.
Either way, of
And then-
course, I'm a proponent of us proliferating in
I
space.
honestly don't. I
And
don't
here's
know.
the why. Because regardless of your point of view on the human race, whether you believe religious, whatever, as any animal, from my point of view, sole end goal is to proliferate and survive.
Yeah, that's the reason.
And that's why we should get in space and figure this shit out so we don't
And that's the reason
exterminate ourselves.
People don't want babies to be aborted, right?
Oh, that's just ignorance.
Well, come on, man. It's caveman. It's
Well,
Neanderthal shit, man.
'cause-
you can rape somebody and have them have your baby. That's like ultimate winning in the gene pool.
No, that's fucking where we should be
Dude, that's
fucking
fucked
lynching
up.
motherfuckers. that is completely fucked up. Like,
think about that. That's ultimately winning in the gene pool is to force somebody to have your child and pass on your genes.
that's not winning. That's fucking where we as a society need to come
Well,
together
I mean,
and go.
yeah, it's winning if you're a Neanderthal. You know,
I don't even
if you-
think the
if you're-
Neanderthals were that bad.
If you're a caveman, you're trying to your ultimate goal is to pass on your genes, and that's all it is. You didn't care who you had sex with.
Yeah, but the difference is back then, you might not care who you had sex with, but if you wanted to pass on your genes in that hostile environment, you still had to provide and take care of them. Otherwise, they'd be food for fucking a saber-toothed cat or some other predator. So, people talk about that. back then, if you want to go all the way to that, yeah, maybe it was rape. I don't know. We don't know what the society was like or how it worked. But if you wanted your offspring to survive, you had to still provide. You still had to be around. You couldn't just knock her up and walk the fuck away because the kid would be fucking predator food within.
No, you knock her up, you get locked in jail, in prison, you get fed and
Oh,
sheltered the
that's
rest of
modern
your life.
bullshit.
And then you don't even have to worry about dying. Like you're safe and secure, and you can let your offspring grow up in a wonderful environment.
Of welfare and poverty.
Fucking A,
And,
right?
and statistically, unfortunately, no matter whether or not woman loves her kid or not, as a single, parent, statistically, as a single parent,
It's one of the worst things you could do to a child.
yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
statistically.
that's why, oh my God, anyone that's against, same-sex couples or polygamous couples adopting kids, you're idiots. Because 2 parents or more, statistically,
100%. I've looked up the statistics on that for some odd reason. I don't honestly remember why. Probably some Facebook argument I'm trying to sound intelligent about, most likely. But yeah, what was it? Yeah, that was one of the biggest downfalls.
I did my.
I think it was looking up something about white privilege. And the second best privilege is Asian privilege.
Oh.
So they said.
I don't believe.
So the internet said.
I don't believe in
Yeah.
privilege. I believe that there's different. First of all, let's understand something. In today's era, we went from having peace officers whose job was to maintain the peace to law enforcement officers who enforced the law. 2 totally separate things.
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
And
I'll-
the
I'll
problem
play
is
with you.
these cops don't give a fuck. A lot of cases, unfortunately. The only saving quote unquote grace is like people say, oh, if you're look, I've been a white boy in a black neighborhood living. Do you know how many times I was harassed for being a white boy in that hood?
Sure.
All
But-
because just because they didn't know who, especially when they didn't know who I was, that I lived there.
That's not white privilege though. But white privilege is something that you can't tangibly feel or know that you have for the most part. White privilege is not fear is going out and not fearing that you're going to get shot by a cop today. Like when I leave my house, when I walk out my front door, I don't ultimately just have this fear that I'm going to get shot by a cop. Like that's
Speak for your fucking self. Anytime if I see a cop, and
Maybe you
especially if I
do.
get pulled over, do you know how many times I've been?
do you get
done-
followed around stores?
Yeah.
Every time you walk into a store,
Not every time, but
like-
I've been.
I mean, I
literally-
have too. Don't get me wrong, I have, but it's not something that I think about. That is very, very there's so many little underlying things
I
that
do.
make
Dude, every time I interact with a law enforcement officer, I always
it goes
wonder,
so much deeper than that.
I always wonder, is he going to reach for his gun? And if he puts his hand on his gun, I always am wondering, is this the day these fuckers
Sure.
are going to shoot me? Every fucking time.
It-
But it comes from, and it's weird because I get what you're saying. Because when I was younger and a teenager growing up, I didn't have that concern until I got into my mid-20s and I started having run-ins with law enforcement. So when I get, when
See, I got turned down for a job once because of the way I look, strictly because of the way I look, and that was just I can imagine just the tip of the head of how people of color must feel when they go in for job interviews. I seriously walked into a job and had some fucking redneck look at me straight in the eye and said, "I'd never hire somebody that looked like you," and I fucking didn't get the job. A mechanic. I was a fucking certified auto mechanic. Applying for a mechanic job over the phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm ASC certified, brake, steering, suspension, fucking, I got 2 ASCs. I like to, you sound great. Come on in. Walk in the door. He looks at me straight in the eye and says, I never hire somebody that looks like you. And that happens a lot. I mean, I had it happen one time to me and it was fucking earth shaking. It was like, holy fuck, I understand I did this to myself. Don't get me wrong. I brought this upon myself, but many people didn't, and that's, if I,
Also, now I got to tell you a funny story. Back in the days, around 02, 01, I was driving back from Orlando, right? A bunch of friends, right? I was going 85, right? And I got pulled, by the highway patrol, right? And so once he came on, he goes, "Sir, license and registration, please. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Go home. Get the fuck out of here, right? And so I fucking dipped and shit, right? And once I did, my homeboy in Mexico, bro, I had it weird me. Like, motherfucker, why you this shit on you? No, man, I'm too home and shit, man. No, fuck you. Don't ever come in my car again like that with that fucking shit.
But you know, the white privilege fucking topic though, it goes so goddamn deep into society from everything that we know. It's so deep on just, I mean, well, black people can't swim, blah blah blah. Yeah, well that
What?
was
Why not? I know plenty of black people. That
no,
swim
but
just
that's a
great.
stereotype that a lot
Well-
of people have, and it's like halfway true because people of color weren't allowed to swim in public pools. They didn't have the same access. They would get kicked out.
Oh.
People would fucking shut down the pools and tell them to leave. You know, just because a black couple came out there, and they
Well-
prevented a lot of people from learning
Well,
to swim.
that's usually people, you know, that's I get what you're saying, but
It-
let's be accurate. A lot of that
Fucking home loans, banks. I mean, a lot of shit happened that prevented black people a long time ago to owning the same amount of land and property that equals to money that they didn't get the proper, you know, funds that they should have as
Oh,
the average person.
Let me. So you talk about that. My grandfather, Joseph Tomberg, who was was a magistrate here in Boynton Beach City, was the magistrate when the cities had their own judges
Yeah.
for local issues. The reason why my grandfather opened his law office and became the magistrate of Boynton is because when he went to buy a house, they said, "I'm sorry, Jews can't have loans to
Yeah.
buy houses in Delray." And this is the exact words they told him: Jews and niggers can't buy houses here in
Fucking
Delray.
A.
That's what they told him
fucking
straight up.
insane. Holy
This
shit.
is to a guy who's a licensed attorney, a member of the bar. I'm sorry, Jews and niggers can't buy a house here in Delray. So my grandfather moved to Boynton. So
It's yeah.
And
That's
I mean-
the feeling of it. You know, maybe it's not everybody. You know, everybody doesn't reap all the benefits of white privilege. It doesn't mean that you are reaping it today, right now. But for the most part, as a society, it's yes, you're. It happened to probably Jews far less than black people. You know, it happened to Asian people for a while. It goes through its cycles, I guess.
I mean,
but now it's going into fucking.
if you wanted to talk about the 50s and 60s, absolutely, I'll agree there was white privilege, but in 2000,
That wealth carries on throughout the generations.
Okay, the
The wealth carries on throughout generations, and then schools get funding from the taxes generated in the communities, and white schools get more money. That leads to better educations, and it's this ongoing cycle that has been going on for a long fucking time.
Okay, I understand what you're talking about, the wealth, but
The wealth is a big
if you're
part.
a poor white guy living in a predominantly black neighborhood, going to a predominantly black or Hispanic school,
which is out
you are
of the realm of it's not.
it's common
average.
in this day and
It's-
age. It's especially with the
I
disparity
lived
of
there. Trust me, I was part of that. Growing
Okay,
up.
so you understand.
And
It's
my
not
mother
a-
walked us miles. I walked 3 miles to school every day to go from Dyson Circle up off of fucking, which is a government
Section 8 housing,
eight, yeah, off of military and goddamn, where was it? Like Gun Club. And I mean, we would walk to Palmetto Elementary in the morning out of the ghetto every day. Yeah. I mean, we used to walk pretty damn far just to go to school into a community. We would, I guess it's against the law, but we would fake names. We would try to
Fake addresses.
fake addresses, which is so much easier for somebody that's white.
Oh, okay. I will give you, especially going back, 25 years, it was definitely, you got question less. So if you want to go back to, there was severe white privilege going back.
and it just carries on.
But
it's
let's be honest, in today's day and age, you're going to get, judged for your earrings.
I did this to myself.
You're going to get judged for that, the nose ring, far more than the color of your skin by someone. That's just a reality. Now, are there
I would
people-
love to believe that was true. I literally would. That sounds amazing, but I don't know if that's true.
Well, okay, here's the way are there people who own private businesses that are racist? yes, on both all spectrums. Let's be
I
honest.
worked with them just recently. I quit a job because of it.
There's, there are white people who are racist. There are black people who are racist. There are Asian people who are racist. There's racism of every shape, and it's sad because there really shouldn't be in this day and age. That's so. Yes, I will give you racism still does exist across the spectrum.
It does, and that's sort of white privilege. It's something that you may not tangibly be feeling right now. It doesn't mean it affects your personal life and how you're up, like how much money you personally make and like how you are as a direct person. But there is slight advantages that you may not have seen throughout the years of just being white. Things that you don't even question. They're not even like thoughts in the back of your head at all. It's just daily life that other people don't have. And it equals out to a lot. And over so many generations, over hundreds of years, the wealth equality, the gap is become pretty drastic.
And I'll acknowledge that there's definitely a huge gap when it comes to inherited wealth and everything else. No
That's
dispute.
the biggest. That's one of the biggest.
But
things.
that's not a matter of, let's yes, going back to that with the wealth inheritance and all that issue. Yes, black people did not have that opportunity because they were segregated, they were suppressed. But at the same time, if you look at it, and I'm not saying it's right, and you could, there's a lot of black historians, like black people who are historians of the black culture, who will confirm this. The worst thing that happened to the African American communities was the ending of segregation, unfortunately. And it's weird. The reason why is
Never heard that before.
No,
but
here's what used to happen. Okay, in the black community, you wanted to buy something. Where'd you have to go? You had to go to the black grocery store.
they were self-sustaining.
They had to be self-sustaining because no Walmart could come in and buy up and open up a grocery store because they were white owned and they couldn't sell to the black community. It's fucked up that, segregation allowed these big corporations to come in and fuck everything up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying segregation was a good thing or a right thing. I'm just saying it's weird that.
It definitely wasn't right.
Oh no, it's not. No, like I said, it's not right.
Wasn't right.
No, I mean, here's my opinion. Like what you're talking about, where I understand what you're saying. Like if you live in certain communities, there's a wealth disparity gap that allows
And
those schools to be better
Property
funded.
taxes pay
Correct.
for the schools, and that's why there would actually. I mean, you're probably
Yeah.
similar to my age.
I'm older than you, but yeah.
They would bust
Yeah.
kids out of different districts and
To
other
end up- yeah.
schools, and I mean that's the reason things like that would happen was because
Well-
people were realizing this and they were trying to
Fix it.
Fix it, yeah.
Well,
sure.
and I've got the perfect fix for it. It's not hard. Okay, first of all, you have to cut back on each individual county's fucking school board. Like, there's way too many bureaucrats in the school system. You take all that money that goes to the schools and you collect it statewide, and it's dispersed on a per capita basis of students in that school. So if this school has 200 kids, they get X, regardless of where that school's at. If there's $500, let's say there's $5,000 per student is what it totals up statewide. If this school has 1,000 kids, they get 5,000 times 1,000. If this school has 20 kids, they get 5,000
I
times
couldn't
20.
tell you. Yeah,
That
maybe it'll
way-
work, but
Well, it would work if you think about it, because now you're taking all
it's
this-
socialism.
No, it's not. It's proper. It's not socialism. It's proper disbursement of funds.
It's socialism.
No, because here's the difference.
Democratic socialism.
Not even. It's libertarianism, if you really want to be accurate, because it's not. We've already collectively, as a group, agreed we're going to collect money from property tax and disperse it to the schools. We've all collectively agreed to that. Whether it was our grandparents, our great grandparents, if you own property, you pay property tax. A portion of that goes to the schools. I'm just saying, you're paying this property. It shouldn't be to the county. It should be to the state. The state should disperse it. And there's the head of that county and his secretary.
Sounds like socialism.
Why? Well, that money's already there. That system's already in place. Is it a social program? Yes.
I've got no problem with it. But like that's how it should work. Sure, but everything's too corrupt for that.
Oh, and also, wait, I'm Cuban, right? My parents left Cuba, left communism, right? And my parents met in Jersey,
In Jersey.
Yeah, in West New York, Jersey, back in the days, right? In the 70s, right? But of course, you know, my dad, right, told me a whole lot of shit about fucking communism, right? And communism in Cuba suck fucking monkey balls, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking like like you have rations every month, and, us Cubans, right? We love pork, pork, small thing, right? To feed a family of seven, you know, and of course, right, and of course everywhere they have the secret police. So if you talk shit about the whole government,
About
right?
Castro specifically.
Yeah,
That fucker took a lot of land from my family.
yeah,
That's-
Yeah.
same too, right? And of course, right, if you talk shit about Castro, right, the secret police find you, jail, gone, disappear.
Fucking Guantanamo Bay. Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
No, that became Miami.
Yeah. So when everybody says like, oh, we have it rough here. Nope. No.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
I laugh so hard.
So you would say definitely the United States, even with our issues, is far better than Cuba.
Fuck yes.
sure.
What about so you follow what's going on in Venezuela then?
Yeah.
Corrupt governments and inflation.
Yeah, with
Inflation.
yeah, Chavez at first, and then after he died, it was Nicolas Maduro, right? And right now, the guy that won the presidency, right? They're all fighting. People are dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all over oil prices and inflation. If you look at the charts, they've had higher inflation than any other country in the world, like ever. And they basically they did that to try to sell their oil for more money, and it's really causing them fucking havoc. And over the long run, they're not going to win. It's a trade. It's more about shit out of the people's hands, more or less. But
Yeah.
governments are too corrupt
And that's
for
my
socialism.
That's
the
my
problem.
that's my concern. That's why I'm not a socialist and I have an issue with it, because anytime you give a government too much power,
Yeah.
they're going to be corrupt.
The
And,
theory,
like-
the idea is great. but
Oh.
people, it's just
and it
too
works
corrupt.
and it works great on a small scale.
It's just too corrupt. That's all there is to it. You know, it sucks.
It
'Cause
does.
It sounds like a great idea, but it's too corrupt. So what do you do? Do you continue on the same path that we're on now?
And also, right, look at the Venezuelans. They have to go to across the border to Colombia, right, to get the whole medicines and food, because now the whole resource has been depleted in Venezuela. So they had to go over to the families. Hey, what do you need, right? So they make sure that they got all medicines and all that shit. Yeah. So yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Yeah.
So, as much as it would be great for certain things to be socialized, so everyone has access to it, we understand that unfortunately, human nature, people become corrupt, they become greedy. Do you have any idea of a solution?
Checks and balances. I
Well,
mean,
we've seen that can always be corrupted.
it
Unfortunately,
does, and unfortunately, that's the fucking truth. There's nothing you can do besides checks and balances, and hopefully, those checks and balances have to have checks and balances, and it's got to be some fucking weird ongoing cycle of everybody watching each other, and nobody corrupting the whole fucking pot. It would,
the pot's always going to get corrupted. Unfortunately.
yeah. So there's really nothing you can do about it. Do you keep it the way it is and keep,
Oh, I honestly believe I could fix the whole fucking thing, but then again, no one wants me as the despot, because I would be a despot. I mean, like, for me,
I mean,
I honestly, like, my biggest issue of what's happened in the last, say, 15, 20 years, I don't think the banks should have been bailed out. I absolutely think there's no such thing as too big to fail. They should have been allowed to fail.
see, that's
They
a big part of the problem. It's too big to fail, and then fucking the Republicans want less regulations. So you're going to
Well,
get
that
corporations
drives me
that are
nuts.
too big to fail, and then you want less regulations on them.
They-
And that's what needs to be fucking regulated the most.
The banks should have been allowed to fail. They should have gone under. That's the only thing that drives me nuts with these Republicans.
The
is-
fucking car companies, they all should have fucking just went on there.
Yeah, well,
Fuck
they
'em
sit
all.
here. They sit here and say, "Oh, we want less regulation, but we want to regulate a woman's body." Like, no, you can't have it both ways. You can't say less
I want
government.
less government and a big wall.
I think the wall's a waste of money. Hey, look, I'll fix. Like I said, I could fix it all. First of all, you want to fix the cartel issue? End prohibition on drugs. Do like the fucking Swiss did. If you're an addict or you take certain drugs, you in the morning you go to a facility where your opiate, whatever major drug is administered to you. You're put into a monitoring room. When you're safe to drive, you get up, you get in your car, and you go to work. At the end of your shift, if you're still using, you go in, you get your drugs administered again by dosage by a nurse.
Sounds like socialism.
Well, like,
Some of the things I believe in are socialist,
It absolutely is.
but I'm also very libertarian. I don't think anyone should be telling anyone what they can or can't do, unless it's harming someone else against
Absolutely.
their. And the key word is against
The
their
problem
will.
is shit's so fucking corrupt right now. The only end result to solve it is to have a bigger entity govern it and call it socialism. To strip apart all these people's fucking wealth and give it to everybody.
I disagree. I think the solution is
You got to destroy it all and just give it back to everybody.
you're not going to give it back because
Oh, you just got to
you even if you destroy it all, you're still not going to give it back because look in Argentina. There's whole neighborhoods
But it'll never happen.
of wealthy, descendants of Nazis.
Yep.
You can't ever unfortunately, no matter how hard you try, they're always going to find a loophole. They're always going to find a way around.
Yep.
That's just a reality.
Yeah. Also, over there, and also in Brazil.
Yes,
Huh.
but less regulations in certain areas.
But
And
kill all of them. Ruling class Holocaust. Absolutely. Kill all of them.
I don't think you need to kill all of them.
Every last one of them. They're all scum.
I think you just need to sit here and
Show me one that doesn't take money from a lobbyist and special interest. I'll vote for him.
okay. It's called someone who's a new politician that's never held office.
Now, those are the people, that.
No, that's my solution. Honestly, is you want to fix this country. Is every 15, 20 years, the movement goes off of all new faces. If you've ever held office in any capacity, you will not be voted in. We collectively as a people sit here and say, you guys have all played
Is there
office.
guillotines involved?
No.
No.
It's just you've held office. We're not voting for you. No one's going to vote for you. So if
No
you're
guillotines.
no guillotines. No need for guillotines. We're not French here.
Can we eat them?
I don't give a fuck what you do with the dead. I mean, if that's your thing. But, no, seriously, think about it. If everyone collectively said, new face movement, this year at elections, if you've ever held office, we are not voting for you. No incumbents, no one who's ever held office.
That's
So,
just as scary as what Trump is doing now by fucking doing his executive orders and appointing people and shit. That shit's scary. Ron DeSantis got in there. I know dick about him, right? Except for what the fucking news has shown me. But I see what he's doing in our state. I see him firing people, which seems like a very knee-jerk reaction, with nobody knowing who the fuck he's putting in their place. And everybody's people are cheering for him, woo, he's getting shit done. Okay, maybe. I have no idea who these people are that he's just sticking in their places, and the media doesn't cover it.
well,
I guess I got to do my own. Oh, yeah. Hello. Hi.
well, the reality is the bureaucracies are going to continue to function regardless of who the head is. That's the reality. Whether it's the IRS, Department of Agriculture here in Florida, DMV, it doesn't matter what bureaucracy it is.
But I like the idea of getting rid of everybody, don't get me wrong. But I'm fearful of the people that are coming in that we don't know who the fuck they are.
But think about it, if they
is
don't-
it better?
Well, if they don't know, here's the point: is if they've never held political office in any capacity, they don't know how the game's played yet. and they've got to figure out the game all over again of corruption.
And then
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not
like
saying corruption-
AOC is doing. Like she's trying, right? I mean,
she's trying. I think she's
she's ignorant to the game, and she gets made fun of a lot because
Correct.
of it.
And she does look. Let's be honest. She does say some stupid things, but I
Yeah.
prefer that. Think about it. If we had all of Congress and the Senate like that, they don't understand what's going on. That means, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your point of view, the politics are pure again. People are going based off of their own moral compass, not what they're being paid
Absolutely.
to do.
Yep.
This is what I think.
And the Democrats are like, we'll beat them at the polls, and then the Republicans are like, fear and hate, and and everybody like gets on the emotion, and everybody votes Republican because of the emotions, and the Democrats are like, the laws will provide, and we'll do it by the system. The system will work.
This is what I think, right? Is get rid of the two-party system.
And go to what?
Different parties.
How many?
As many as you want.
See, here's my problem with that. Many as you want is what allowed Hitler to take power in Germany.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think honestly we should have a three-party system and do it that way.
Three? I mean,
Yes, three.
5?
Mm,
I like 5.
I like 3. Here's the reason
I
why
just
I
like
like
the number
three.
5. I just guess let's pick that.
I like 3 because that gives you your far left, your far right, and your centrists.
Fuck, the centrists can be such a problem though sometimes.
Why?
Because they don't care about nothing, but they seem to always sway far left or far right. They're always like far right, but I believe in nothing. Kill them all.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about centrists like me who believe in most people should be left the fuck alone to do their own thing. Yes, we need certain social programs. Yes, we need certain oversight on large businesses. But for the most part, especially when it comes to smaller businesses, there's no need for government oversight. They're too small to have a major impact. That's the reality. Small businesses need less regulation. Larger businesses need more regulation.
I mean, how much corrupt shit is going on in small businesses? I mean, it all adds up. You see Jack Shacks and Jupiter fucking,
Well, first of all, again,
with fucking sex slaves giving hand jobs to the fucking.
okay, but if prostitution's legal, you don't have sex slaves anymore.
Why not? Sex slavery isn't really about prostitution necessarily. It's about somebody's body being traded
But because it's
for
illegal,
sex. And
if sex is legal, why would you think of it this way?
I lived in Nevada. I mean, sex was legal, but there were still prostitutes.
Legal in certain locations. Have you been in Germany? Have you been to Germany or Amsterdam?
No, I haven't. But
I have, where prostitution is actually legal throughout the country.
The windows in the red light.
It doesn't solve all the problems.
District.
Nothing solves all the problems. Yes, there's red light districts,
Yeah.
but by having the legalization of this, you get rid of the black market to a large percentage. And by doing so, there is no profit. What's the purpose? There's no profit in trafficking in sex slaves unless it's, unfortunately, only sex slaves that would still
They're
be
still
trafficked.
children.
Correct.
They're
And
still
I-
illegal things.
And I
They're
think
still-
anyone trafficking children, you
Well, that's
should.
part of it. That's a big part of it.
Well, I think you should
unfortunately.
automatically carry a death sentence.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but that's definitely a big part of it. No matter what you want to make legal, there's always
There's always a black market for something, but as you limit the scope of it, of what's illegal, and think about why is prostitution illegal? It's for religious moral purposes.
sure. Yeah,
If a woman wants to sell her
it's the oldest
companion,
profession. Yeah,
if she wants to sell her companionship,
There's no problem.
and I don't consider her selling her body because shit. Then every time you buy a woman dinner and she decides to sleep with you, she sold her body. If you want to,
all the toxic chemicals I breathe in at work, and how many times I've hurt myself and fucked myself up. I sell my body every fucking day.
Yeah. Well, we
You
sell
know,
our
what's the
time in our
difference?
body. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm killing myself every day to go to work and provide.
So
what's the difference?
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, as a centrist, I'm very. What you want to do, however you want to do it. If women want to pay you to have sex with them or spend time with them, and that's what you're willing and want to do, that's your prerogative. And there should be no judgment based on that.
100%. Yeah.
Whether you're male, female, whether you sell your time to women or men, I don't care. I really don't, and I don't think anyone should. But at the same time, you're allowed your religious beliefs,
Yeah, as long as they don't affect me.
as long as you don't try to inflict them on me.
No, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take a piss. We can talk about more music after this.
We will come back to the music when you are back.
Let's do music.
Music. You all right?
I'm okay.
Okay. Brian, what do you think about all this? What song, when he comes back, what song you think we should be playing? You got a favorite song the band plays?
I think the other song is "I Don't Give a Fucking Shit." It's actually the name of the song, actually.
But do you have another song outside of that you like, or you want that one? I mean,
That's a
we could
good
go
one.
to your
I mean,
YouTube channel. I'm sure we can find shit,
Yeah.
SoundCloud, something.
Yeah, there's a few. Bucket of Piss is a good one too.
You like Bucket of Piss?
Bucket of Piss is pretty good. But
Let me sit here and get that queued up while he's taking a piss. What do you think about all this political talk, though, Ryan? You seem to be a bit quiet, but you seem like you had a couple of things you wanted to say during this sometimes.
I usually stick out of that, or stay out of all that.
Yeah.
I stick to the side and
Yep.
keep it to myself usually.
Hey, baby.
And I hit that weed pen, so it got me all,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Doobie, I meant. Yeah.
All right, so after all that nice talk about
Yeah.
white privilege and how we are all fucked, let's listen to a song called "I Don't Give a Shit."
I don't give a fuck shit.
Yeah, let's listen to "I Don't Give a Shit," and you can hear about how you need to get a fucking job and provide for yourself.
I don't give a fucking shit.
Yeah, that was on that thumb.
I don't give a fucking shit. 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 Who the fuck do you think you are? Nothing in this world for free. Get off your ass and play door. Go make some fucking money. I don't give a fucking shit about your care. I don't give a fucking shit if it's bad. I don't give a fucking shit if you sleep in a bed. I don't give a fucking shit. Who the fuck do you think you are? Nothing in this world for free. Get off your ass and play the whore. Your fucking children are free. No, pray for you. Roar. Oh, stars. Another generation. Roar. Green stars. Kill you in your first class. Oh, it's yours. When you're dead, can't say a word. Kill you in your first class. Oh, it's yours. When you're dead, can't say a word. I don't give a fucking shit. 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 I don't give a fucking. I don't give a fucking. I don't give a fucking shit.
Sounds like you give a fucking shit, though.
Yeah, it's really, the whole song is about I don't give a shit about your kids. I don't give a shit if they've been fed. I don't give a shit if you have a roof over your head. Get a fucking job. Pay for yourself. Nothing's for free.
Nope.
That's really how it is.
Is that how you feel it should be, or just how it is?
It's how it is. You get people that just want to sit around, do nothing, and mooch off of me and the government and stay at your house for free and think you're going to provide for them and fucking do nothing. That's not how it fucking works. I'm goddamn
Unless you're
sorry.
a teenager.
No, unless you're a child or something.
Well,
Yeah,
and
but
also, of course, when you had enough, right, up to here, right? You got to tell them, hey, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here, right? I don't give a fuck shit. What the fuck you do? Get in my house,
no, get the fuck out.
Sounds like there's a story behind that.
There is. And I don't know if I.
Okay. I got.
I'm not going to go into who, but yeah, it was, about somebody and they.
They just wouldn't leave. They were just taking advantage.
Not that they wouldn't leave. It was just that their whole life that they never really got a job, never did anything with their life, and they just sat there and mooched off the government. They never had a job. And, I'm disabled. It's like everybody hurts. Go to work. And it's just collect the government money and just be happy with that. And
That's very capitalist of you.
capitalist of me. I mean, I think everybody needs to provide for themselves, for sure. One way or another. I don't care what it is, but fucking do something. God damn.
Yeah, you have to work for your own, right?
I don't care if you live out in the woods and hunt. Fucking do something. Provide for yourself. I mean, whatever it is. I think the minimum wage should be higher. I think people that are only capable of doing menial jobs should still be able to support themselves. But still, there should be, you got to do fucking something.
Oh, I agree with that. Now, Brian had put in a request. What was it? Piss bucket?
Oh, bucket of piss.
Bucket of piss.
Bucket
Before-
of piss, yes.
Is there a story behind that song you can share with us?
I mean, that song is fucking straightforward as hell. That's, you pray to a God, does not exist. I'd rather pray to a bucket of piss. So, I mean, that's...
So it's a point of view on religion.
Yes, about how it's all shit. And
Or in this
how-
case, a bucket of piss.
Yeah, and shit. I mean, play with me here. If you had hemorrhoids... and you
No,
had
I've
to-
had hemorrhoids. Thank you for asking.
and you had to take a shit, and you wiped your ass with Bible papers, the hemorrhoids should go away.
I will have to try that sometime.
Well, if they don't, your Bible's full of shit. That's how I looked at it.
So what you're saying is, if I use the New King James Bible, I wipe my ass with that.
New
If I-
Testament. The Old Testament doesn't count.
Oh, well, if
Yeah,
I'm
no.
Jewish, that's the Old Testament. So if they don't go away with the New Testament, but they go away with the Book of Mormon, then I should become a Mormon.
I think it's a good judge of what's true or not. Yes, absolutely. I mean, praise Allah if that works for you. And whatever gets rid of those hemorrhoids, I think you should roll with.
Well, the new way to discover your religion. When you get a case of hemorrhoids, get all the religious texts, wipe your ass with it.
100%.
Whichever one cures it, that's your new religion.
That is it. Follow
and,
that.
And when they come back, do it all over again, and that's how you get your new religion.
Yeah, I mean, you can have multiple religions.
I am I am actually been baptized in 3 different religions.
Wow. I drew a turtle in the sand and danced around it.
If you draw a turtle in the rocks or in the sand on my job, that's a call for rain on
It
the top.
was. That was what we were doing. Yeah, I was calling for rain, and I didn't get it. The other guy read his horoscope, and they said there was no fucking rain. Yeah, I guess he won.
That's the joke on the towers is if you draw a turtle on the tower or on the ground of the compound, you'll get rain on the site.
Very common in the construction industry, I guess, because we have definitely drawn turtles in the sand.
Gotta find this song.
But also, right, if you wash your car, right, do car wash, it was rains. Well,
It's funny. I love this song. This is a song, definitely. I think that we need to do it country. We need to do it hip hop. We need to do it multiple different versions of this song.
The one with the video is the best?
Sure, that's all the same quality, I believe. Do you stream the video on there?
Wipe that shit from your mind.
would have to say somebody was very religious at one point in time. Who was it?
Was not very religious ever, but my mother is, and it drives me insane. Yes, and I mean, we weren't very religious growing up, but definitely had to go to church, sort of randomly. Sometimes a little bit more than others, depending on how shitty it was. And yeah, I don't know. You start to read books.
Don't do that. You'll get smart.
Yeah, then all of a sudden it's like, holy fuck. No, that's not right.
So
It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense in my head. And that,
So, what book was one of the most influential for you? I know, or at least for me, there's one for me, Robert Heinlein, especially Starship Trooper. That's why when you're like, that's very socialist of you. Robert Heinlein was a card-carrying fucking socialist for many, many years, and he actually ran for office in California, in between being an author. So yes, I have some very socialist views because of him, but he was a very influential, part of my youth and my thought process and my self-education.
it's weird. Like, I read a lot of books that were about not necessarily like, I don't know, they were about how shitty everything is. Not necessarily like what's good and what you should believe in, but about how just how evil corporations are and how all your food is fucked up and how everything you eat sucks and it's all GMOs and it doesn't matter. You're going to die. How everything that you ever do nowadays is going to kill you.
Most Santos.
Monsanto's.
Monsanto.
Just believing in nothing, but ultimately believing in science and just a scientific method of figuring shit out.
Now, what about for you, Christian? I mean, you're Cuban, so you probably come from a religious family,
Catholic.
which is kind of
Yeah.
the stereotype.
Well, one thing was with that whole shit, right? Is it's tradition, right? Right? But you don't have to go to church, I'm not a God fearing guy, I believe there's a higher being, right? But of course, I'm not gonna pray to it,
Okay.
But of course, in our family,
If your
right,
book's already written, why pray?
yeah,
Makes no sense.
of course, when back in the days, right, when we went in church, right, it was for Easter, Christmas, right, and when you go there, right, the whole people, the whole people that go there, right, you always fucking there looks like this. And like, fuck you, I'm doing it that way, and so that kind of threw me off of shit, because it was bullshit, and but still, you don't do it for your grandparents, they're religious, right, right, and so.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, but and of course, once my grandma died, and my grandparents died, right? I figured out that religion is not your best friend, and-
Sometimes I really felt like being religious would have been easier when my father died. To be able to say, I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you again. I'm going to see you in another lifetime. It crossed my mind, like, man, that seems like that'd be easier than just, no, this is him, his ashes in an urn sitting on my fucking counter. That's what I believe. That's it. Fucking, you're done. There you are. That's it.
Let's turn things a little lighter. Now.
Yeah.
Where were you playing that night where just the fucking pit, the crowd just went off? Do you have that night where you were like, holy fuck, we've set this off?
Fucking U.S. bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on a Sunday in 2018.
U.S. bombs at respectables.
Yeah.
Yeah, the U.S.
That shit was crazy. Fuck the whole pit. And of course, our friend Kevin.
Oh, is that the one where Kevin fucking
Yeah.
punched my wife?
Yeah. And,
Nah,
What?
an
And,
asshole.
and of course,
And then he took my beer.
yeah, beer.
Ah.
Like, Kevin, give me a fucking beer.
Right in the middle of the fucking set, I got like a couple beers there for me to drink. And next thing I know, I see him crowd kill my wife, and then run up on the stage and knock over a beer, and then grab my other beer and run off with it. That fucking asshole.
What? So the crowd was so crazy.
I tried to kick him in the face. I seen him grab my beer. I tried to boot him in the head, but I missed him. And yeah,
So the pit was just going off that night for you guys. Just
that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And so also
DRI was fun in Miami. That was a fun fucking show.
Yeah, that crowd was going off too.
Oh, yeah.
Pit was
Yeah.
just killing it.
Dead Kennedys at Kelsey Theater. That was
No,
fun.
I-
We just played with Murphy Law. What last? Thursday.
Yeah, that's Thursday. Also, remember, right? At you know, DRI in Miami, right? My whole gear was fucking up, right? You know, and
Oh yeah, we had so many malfunctions that
Yeah,
night
yeah.
playing with DRI at Churchill's in Miami, and all of a sudden your guitar strap broke right in the middle of the set, and the dude runs up on stage and duct tapes it back together
Yeah.
for us. Then Ian broke 2 strings, I think,
Yeah.
all in one set, and we continued to play, and we still put on a fucking
Yeah.
hell of a show. That was fun.
Well, because you know, like even though you run hurdles, right? You still got got to play. You still got the show must go on.
No, I get, but I want to go back. So your wife gets in the pits.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Damn. So that night, this I'm guessing he's like a friend of the band. Type
He
thing?
is, Kevin. He's definitely a good friend of the
And he
band.
just he happened to catch your wife because you're not paying attention.
Yeah,
When you get in the pit, you don't see anyone. You're just doing. You get in your own world and you're just.
I'm not a fan of crowd killing. I think it's some punk ass bitch.
Now,
shit.
what do you consider crowd killing? Because
Okay, so you have
One guy.
you have a mosh pit going on. Usually the mosh pit's pretty fucking lame. It's just people that are like a couple friends dancing around acting tough. And then they just start hitting people that aren't dancing just at the edge of the crowd for no reason. They don't actually dance with each other. The safest place in a mosh pit with crowd killers is in the mosh pit. I usually walk myself into the middle of the mosh pit to drink my beer because they're not actually dancing with themselves. So if you're in the mosh pit, you just sort of migrate to the middle of their mosh pit, and then you're safe to drink your beer because they're just hitting the people on the outside.
that's a bit changed. Because back in the days when I was regularly attending shows, like what you're calling crowd killers. If someone started going off on crowds, like there'd be a guy like you or me who would just wait till they came in that area and then we just
They're
level 'em.
usually there with 10, 20 of their friends.
I don't
you
give a
know,
fuck.
like,
We level them and
all-
bring it on.
I mean, it's always like looking for a fight type of shit, and it's. I'm fucking too old for that shit. I ain't looking for a goddamn fight. I'm out there to have some fun, drink some beers, and hang out with friends and family. I'm
No,
not.
like because that used to be the thing. Like the crowd was there to keep you guys in the pit and watch you guys and enjoy you guys doing your thing, and that was what it was. Like if you started going off on the crowd, dude, you'd get back. In the early '90s, even early 2000s, you get leveled by 3 or 4 guys, and goddamn, the consequences.
It's like
bring
I said,
it.
it's usually a show that's very light in attendance. There's not many people there. It's sort of small, and all of a sudden, they're outnumbered, and you get a bunch of people that are macho and crowd killing.
Oh, you
It
guys are
does-
bitches then. Like if that's your boys doing that, you need to fucking level them and put them back in their check.
Some people do it violently and angry, and some people just have fun with it. It's weird. It's something I'm just too old for it, I guess. I can't grasp it. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
No, you're supposed to like the whole point of being in the pit is kind of
The whole
crushing. Every
art
now-
of moshing has died. The whole art of being in a pit, there's no skanking anymore. There's no dancing. There's no having fun. When I get in a pit, I dance like there's nobody else there. I just dance. If somebody's in my way, they're in my way. I have fun. I'm actually dancing. Most people are just pushing each other back and forth and just. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It sucks. Like,
So they don't go into the spirals anymore where you like people would all be skanking and moshing, and the next thing you know, like just like this Ferris wheel would start, like everyone would just.
Circle pits still exist, but then it's still just a bunch of people running around in a circle, which I guess is more organized than most of it.
Well, I'm
but-
just talking like you just see like it was just like this subconscious agreement that, like everyone would skank and mosh into that like circle, and you just like see this flow, and yeah, every now and then you'd see like the breakout that would kind of worm its way through, but it was kind of like just collectively, subconsciously agreed we're all going kind of in
Sure,
this direction.
it's a circle pit. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but of course, he got so fucking mad that Kevin took
The beer.
the 2 beers.
he knocked over one and took the other.
Yeah, and of course, punched his wife. You know,
But he's more mad about the beer. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Like, you don't fucking do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I called him out, and I mean, Kevin, he's young. He's a kid. My wife honestly could have beat the piss out of him if she really wanted to. So, you know,
That's why I was saying. That's why I made the joke about the beer, because if your wife's in pits regularly, I'm sure she can handle herself.
Yeah.
So, those are the big shows. What were the hardest show you guys did? Like that one that you went, like the crowd was like,
God.
what's that show?
Here's Miami.
Yeah.
Maybe a Wednesday night at somebody's guitar shop. What the fuck was the name of that place? Dementic
Yeah.
the Guitars or something?
Yeah, it was a small
Little-
fucking cubby hole.
It was fucking in the middle of Miami on like a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And the owner of the fucking place is battling with his girlfriend.
Yeah,
And they're
right.
probably 20 years different. He's like 50 and she's like 18 or some shit. And they're going back and forth at each other, like literally
Yeah, and-
fighting with each other.
And
Like,
the whole night she's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Ah.
lock the doors, don't let her in. The police are coming. Oh my God. And she gets in and dumps water all over the floor. So people are moshing or slipping. Nobody's really moshing because they're more interested in what the
The
fuck's
fight,
going on with
the
them.
drama.
And, oh, that shit sucked down in Miami on a Wednesday. Fuck. That was the worst.
And I remember Jeremy saying, "Hey, bitch, the fuck out."
Yeah, God, there's a couple of them now.
But has there ever been a show you did? You're like, fuck, I need, you that made you think you want to get out of this? Have you ever had that show or that? Not,
Nah, that wasn't that bad. That was just a notch on the belt. You know, learn what not to do. Don't play Miami on a Wednesday in a random place. That was a learning lesson. But no, I mean, we haven't had any shows that completely just bombed to the point of wanting to give it up. No.
So you had that one night where everything was breaking. Has there ever been a venue where like nothing was working? And like you guys just had to improvise to make it happen?
I mean, we played half pipes. We've played, you know, like or bowls, like in the middle, like we bring all our own equipment and set up. We've played, you know, a lot of different random places, and for the most part, you can make it work. But is it right? Does it sound good? No, usually not. Play house shows, are they great? Sometimes not. There's no sound guy. There's no. It is what it is. You know.
Okay, so you've played house shows. What was the most like amazing? Like, oh my god, this is what I was looking for at a house show. You're like, yeah, they're into it. This is fucking going off. Is it? Have you had that show?
Yeah, the gate.
The gate. That's
Yeah.
that's a warehouse, but
That for me is like it reminded me.
but they got couches and it's set up like somebody's home
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
inside of it. Yeah, the place is fun.
It was old school. We played like 2 or 3 times, and it was pretty cool as hell. And like you know, they had beers and everything. And last
They
year
fed me hot dogs.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Get paid in hot dogs.
Yeah, I was happy about that. They were like, she's like grandma type, like, oh, come here, sit down. You look drunk. Here's some hot dogs. And I'm like, oh, hot dogs. Put them in my mouth. It was good.
And also, one of my favorite shows was at O'Malley's when we did a show for
Joey Image.
yeah, your image.
Joey Image. You familiar with who he is?
No.
He's one of the original drummers. I guess he's the
Yeah.
second drummer of the Misfits.
Okay. Now, understand something. When it comes to like, I listen to musicians, but I am terrible. Like people are like, you know, the front man. I'm like, no.
Well,
Like, but you-
Joey Image was one of the original drummers of the
Okay.
Misfits.
But if I drive people like people who are hardcore musicians into bands, I drive them nuts because it's like they're like, do you listen? Like I listen to Social Distortion. I can't tell you the frontman's name.
No, but
even
seriously,
though I
though,
should know it because I know it's Mike Ness. But like, there's only a few exceptions. Like I listen to these bands like Bad Religion. I can't tell you a single member's name because I don't care about the individual. For me, it's about the band and their music. And I've never been like the super fanboy of the band. Like I've got to know the musicians' names. Where like I've never cared about like it's for me. It's always been the songs themselves. Like I don't have a genre of music that I listen to. I listen to everything.
Like Norwegian death metal.
I'll listen to anything. I've even
Nice.
listened to that new what is it? Where are they from? The Mongolian death metal.
I
Like
heard
some of-
some of that. That wasn't that great.
Some of it was interesting. Like if it's interesting, especially the musical part where the instrumentals, I can get into it. That doesn't mean I'm a huge fan. I'm gonna blare it all the time, but I'll give anything a chance, whether it's rap, reggaeton, punk, ska, hard rock, thrash, death metal, even classical.
You gonna be
pop-
at Propaganda tonight? You gonna be rocking out with some Wolf Face, Shakers,
probably knowing
Killed by
my-
Florida. Come on, it's gonna be fun.
Who?
FA,
What was that band? I've heard that band you just mentioned.
Yeah.
What was it? Killed by who?
Killed by Florida.
Oh, okay. I heard they're
Yes.
pretty cool dudes.
Yeah, we're all right. It's gonna be a fucking excellent night. Wolfface, you have to fucking check them out. You really do. They're bringing a fucking storm with them from St. Petersburg. It's gonna be amazing.
So, if you could pick any of the bands out there that are local right now, who do you think I should sit down and talk to, though?
MRSA,
Yeah, MRSA would be a good one.
MRSA. Yeah, you got to talk to MRSA. Yeah, that MRSA, like the fucking disease.
Yeah. What kind of music do they play?
Metal.
Yeah?
And they were one of the best metal bands in Palm Beach County. There's nothing like MRSA. You pull up some fucking MRSA and put it on. They're amazing. I don't know how many people are listening, but I think you honestly should do that. Put on
Oh, you want some
fucking-
MRSA?
I
Okay,
do.
Fuck it. Let's hear MRSA.
MRSA, Biography of a Madman.
First time another band's requested another band.
Absolutely. I love this shit. The videos, they made 5 songs with 5 videos that all are tracked together as like throughout these different horror movies.
Yes. And one of my favorites is the Evil
It's
Dead.
called Biography of a Madman.
I believe so. You can look up MRSA the band, maybe try it. Check out videos.
Guillotine, is that one of theirs? Or is it MRSA, the band?
MRSA.
Yeah,
Red Rum.
They've got Biography of Madness.
Biography of Madness. There it is.
Does anybody know this asshole they responsible for him? This old man that's like having fucking condition. Yeah, if you could just get him the fuck out of here.
The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, Danny. Come play with us. Come play with us, Danny. Forever and ever and ever.
Hey, how you doing? Hello.
Yeah.
Make some noise.
DJ Christian. What?
Damn. They definitely got some fucking musical talent there. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they're fucking amazing.
Got to reach out to them. Hopefully, to you guys, we can get them on. That would be fucking cool. Now, where are they based out of?
West Palm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're right here, and they're fucking amazing. To me, I just went and seen Slayer and Cannibal Corpse and Armand Armoth and or what the fuck is his name? I think that's it. Something like that. Lamb of God. Yeah, Lamb of God.
For sure.
Yeah, and dude, Mercy should have been on stage with them. They're that fucking good.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like
Dream big.
Yeah, like we are versatile. Again, we can play shows with, you know, metal bands, punk bands, and you know, bands. You know, even like pop bands or hip hop bands. You know, we love to play.
Right on. So let me ask you this all question: is there a story, something that's happened that the rest, like you guys seem a bit tight, so this may not be relevant, but is there like a story you could share that the rest of the band hasn't heard that you'd be willing to share? Or you guys pretty much been that tight for this long that pretty much you guys know everything about each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, besides our sex lives, I guess. I mean, we're not really into locker room talk or anything like that.
Oh,
you
no.
know?
So then, is it true that bass player gets less play than the drummer?
No, I actually.
Married. He's had his girlfriend for a while now. I mean,
Yeah. But also, of course, right? When we play, we are the rhythm section. You know.
the rhythm section, yeah.
Yeah. So we're playing, right, and if I mess up or you mess up, we look at each other and laugh and keep playing.
So people don't notice your mistakes as much.
No, because it was all fucking drunk. Yeah.
We're gonna be drunk tonight.
Yeah. So we play.
Job well done.
Yeah. Yes. So when we're jamming live on stage, right? You know, also like, you know, like sometimes the fucking the monitors can't, you can't hear it, right? So I make sure that I go see him, like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing. We just got a new guitarist, you know, and parted ways with our other guitarist Ian a month or so ago. Just creative differences, really. We, no hard feelings. And we got our buddy Derek playing guitar for us now, and so within the last month or so, he's been playing. We've just played his first show with the band was Murphy's Law at Respectables. And now we're trying to concentrate on playing this show tonight and hopefully him just learning the music and really getting familiar with it so we can continue on to record our next album coming up here. That would
So,
be the
if-
ultimate goal.
If there's a young kid, 18, 19, 20, who's with his first band or looking for his first band and he's looking to do this, do you guys each have a piece of advice you'd give that young man? Because, they're probably going through some shit.
Yeah.
They're trying to, figure life out. Like, is there some
Fuck
more-
everybody. Be yourself.
Oh, there's Jammer's point of view. Point blank, straight up.
Yeah,
But
and also, of course, right, play a show, have fun.
Have fun. Yeah, having fun is one of the biggest things. But depends on how do you want to make $1 million. You have to sacrifice some of that having fun for true fucking work. The work has always got to be there, But it's got to be fun ultimately. It really does.
We always make sure that we want to make sure that when we play, we have fun, and practice, we have fun. It's not a job. It's just us playing music, having a good time. That's what we're all about. Because once it turns into work, then it's not fun anymore.
Nope.
what about you, Brian? You got a point of view?
Don't get too drunk on the first show.
Sounds like a
fast, eat
story.
ass.
Yeah, you gotta pace yourself.
Drink water.
Drink a water. Eat a banana if you're playing drums.
But Bananas.
Like,
Potassium's good for your hands.
yeah, eat a piece of pizza or something.
Eat a lot of food. Yeah, you eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
Try not to shit yourself.
Yeah. Don't shart yourself. 'cause
No.
If you do that, it's
Man
gonna-
ponds.
Yeah, like
Yep.
you're gonna have
Man
itchy
pond.
butt and like a little bit of burning sensation by the end, and you gotta do a safety wipe. And usually they don't have fucking toilet
Nah,
paper
you don't
at
want
some of
that.
some of the venues, but yeah, if you put a paper
If
towel on your
cocaine makes
butt
you
crack,
shit,
you're
do it
safe.
before you go in the venue, and there's nothing worse.
But
Venue toilets suck.
But in all seriousness, it's fucking people give you shit. Just keep on pushing through and shred.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
suck, eventually you'll get better.
Have fun.
Have fun. It doesn't
Have
matter.
fun on stage. If
Make
you can
some
have
noise.
fun, that's all you're out there trying to do.
And that's what it's all about. Because if you don't have fun, then you're not.
Christian, put the mic in front of you so everyone hears you.
If you're not having fun, then you're not enjoying it. You have to have fun. Practice and play life. Have fun. Yeah. There's no room for negativity, right? Never. No. So.
You suck.
Yeah, but still, have fun, have a good time, because that's the whole foundation of this band.
Having fun. Right on. That's fucking.
Having fun and getting drunk.
Amen to that. So tonight, prop, July,
June.
June,
May.
July, sometime.
It might be August.
What month is it?
No, it's today. It's May.
May.
May 18th. May 18th.
May 18th.
Like I said, welcome to Blue Collar Genius, where common sense is common till we start drinking.
May 18th, which is I believe is today. I hope
Saturday.
Saturday.
All right, and then you have another show. You said
June
June
22nd. The Abortion Twins and Butch Queen and the Bad Habits. Yeah, it's the perfect time to play some bands like that. That's what we need in this world.
so. Let me ask you this question real quick, and then we're gonna wrap things up. But if you could set up any lineup that you guys were gonna play with,
Local.
first local, and then if any band in history, like, what would your local lineup be? Limited to 3 bands with you guys.
Local lineup.
Well, of course, the
Oh, that sucks. I don't want-
Shakers.
The Shakers, yeah, the Shakers, absolutely.
And Armageddon Man.
Armageddon Man,
And of course,
Death Lottery,
yeah, and also
MRSA,
yeah, Mercer.
Ass piss? Oh, yeah,
Ass-
that's not bad.
Ass piss,
Ass piss.
Ass piss.
Ass piss.
Ass piss.
And of course, the old school belligerents.
Yeah, belligerents were fucking
So,
mighty fine.
If you could have any bands in the world that were gonna play with you guys, what would that lineup be? Like anyone through history.
Oh shit! I got tons.
Well, you can only pick 3. You got to knock it down to 3.
Whoa,
Hard choices.
Whoa.
So this is a big amphitheater. You guys are playing with 3 other any bands. I don't care.
Whoa.
Local, mainstream, blew up. The whole band's not together anymore.
Whoa, for me.
Suicidal supermarket trolleys.
For me,
3, right?
Yeah, you
3.
each get 3.
Suicidal supermarket trolleys.
and me, Anthrax.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Nickelback.
There's your super lineup. Nickelback, Anthrax, and Supercidal Charlies with Killed by Florida.
Suicidal supermarket trolleys.
Also, one more. For goof, Metallica.
Does it
Metallica sucks.
I know, but
3 choices.
The drummer ruined it. Fuck Lars.
Fucking
God, Lars sucks.
I fucking like Metallica.
Fuck Lars sucks.
Sounds like a story there.
But we went to the concert.
Well, Lars sucks.
Awesome show, man. Awesome concert, man. Shit, man. Concert. We got fucked up in concert. Man, the fucking the whole limo. With Kane and everybody, and it was a
I
fucking
didn't
like
go.
I can tell.
bro. It was a fucking big
See
ass-
Metallica, they cried like little bitches because everybody's throwing paper plates at them. Lollapalooza '96. Stop
yeah.
throwing stuff at me. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go home and cry.
Bro, I was there.
All right, so let me one more.
First time I see Metallica, they were crying on stage.
Since you guys actually have opinions on, if you guys could have just like a one-time like specialty show where you played with just select musicians. Like you got the four you got your band, and then you brought in like for each song a different musician, like a Hall of Fame type show where you brought in maybe a bassist or a guitarist. Like who are those musicians you'd love to play with?
Charlie from Anthrax, the
yeah.
drummer. Charlie Benente, or how the fuck you pronounce his last name?
Dante.
I don't know. Charlie from fucking Anthrax, favorite drummer.
Anyone else? Any other like major musicians or lesser known musicians that you'd love to play?
For me, it is Robert Trujillo from Suicidal and Mazaga.
Brian, anyone? Other than Nickelback?
Shit, who's the singer for Meatloaf? I can't think.
Meatloaf?
That's Meatloaf.
That's
Meatloaf.
That's
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Yeah, Meatloaf.
See Meatloaf once.
I like Meatloaf, so fuck y'all.
Yeah.
And my favorite is that meme going around that I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that, is being pegged.
Yeah, I bet it was.
I have that record actually.
I got that record. Bad Out of Hell.
Hell's. That's it.
Well, actually, for one singer, if he has to, pull from the grave,
You could pull him from the grave, absolutely.
Ronnie James Dio.
Dio? Dio wants his mommy. The great Frank
What about you?
Zappa song.
All right,
What-
Rob
what-
Halford. All right.
Rob Halford? Oh, yeah. Halford's good.
Fuck with that.
Yeah. Or of course, Bruce Dickinson.
Oh, always good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you guys play with some BB King, actually. That would be interesting.
Awesome.
That some of his blues with your punk, that would be really fucking cool. That's just my opinion. I'd
We're
like
not
to,
that good.
It doesn't
We
matter.
are
what-
far from that good.
He'll make you sound good. I promise you that.
Follow him.
Well,
of course,
tonight's the night.
Oh.
We're going to be at Propaganda. We are going to be there fucking kicking ass.
And I do know you guys got to play the show, so we will wrap this show up.
Yeah, we got to get out of here and take our drunken asses home.
Oh, sorry. I said
So that's all right. So once again, another interesting Blue Collar Genius show. All right, shitheads and you lovely fucking hoes. We love you. We miss you. And fuck off.
Thanks.